Once upon a time there were some princesses. Many of them lived happily ever after, some did not. We are travelling to the town of Helsingør in the Øresund region of Denmark. Helsingør, anglicised as Elsinore, is the castle in which Shakespeare set his tragic play Hamlet, and Ophelia is our tragic heroine. Ophelia is the quintessential girl next door, a nice, pretty, uncomplicated and accommodating girl who has known the hero all of her life. Is that her ferry? Should we go?
What?
Should we move? There is a certainty of language in romantic tales. Heroes will always be tall and dark, maids will always be fair. There is a rhythm in the language that is used again and again. Scenarios are repeated over time until they are so familiar that they become iconic and synonymous with real behaviour patterns. In Helsingør, we poster the route to and from the castle to give a posthumous warning to Ophelia. With the print placement, I like to think that somebody would be waiting for a bus or just walking down the street, see the prints and think, yeah, that's me, in the same way that you would respond to an ad for a plaster if you had a corn on your toe. Everywhere that we went in Helsingør, there was some reference to the castle or to Hamlet or to Ophelia, which made the placement of the prints a real joy. It was like that they were joining in a story that was still very current and already very, very visible in the town. I deliberately chose spots that were a bit battered looking for the placement of the pieces. Usually a signed and edition print is placed on a pristine gallery wall, and I was interested to see if they could hold their own as fine art prints in less salubrious settings. I love this shot. Here we have the meeting of two aspiring princesses who died unnecessarily for the love of men who didn't really notice them until they were gone. There was a lot of construction work going on in Helsingør when we arrived. Many of the signs on the fencing leading to the castle were sight warning signs, so we thought that it would be apt to add some romantic warning signs as well. And now for a quick overview of the story from the angle of the female lead. Ophelia's wish was to be a princess, but she was driven mad and drowned. Her sometimes boyfriend was from a very wealthy but highly dysfunctional family. She suffered the consequences of her undying love for him by dying. Ophelia was warned both by her brother Laertes and her father Lord Polonius not to have anything to do with the brooding young Hamlet. Her father felt that she could do better things with her time. Of course, Ophelia would not be told. Instead of taking on board this sound advice and getting on with her life, Ophelia hatches a plan with her father to try Hamlet out. Hamlet's very strange behaviour and odd moods are put down as signs of his passion and undying love for Ophelia. Hamlet, having other things on his mind and feigning madness as a solution, chooses not to share. Instead, he goes out of his way to insult Ophelia and disowns the extent of their relationship. He says that he has never loved her. At this stage, he also accuses her of being a slut. Nunneries at that time were reputed to be multifunctional. This is upsetting for Ophelia, not however in terms of her own dignity, but in the loss of what he had been. Despite all of this, Ophelia allows Hamlet's physical advances and smutty love talk at a play that they are both attending, and it would appear that she let things go an awful lot further than that off stage. Not unusually, after such treatment and the murder of her father at the hands of the hero, there is a mental decline in our heroine and she becomes unhinged. Of course, things did not end well for Ophelia, and to add insult to terminal injury, Hamlet turns up at the graveside, pledges his undying love, leaps into the grave, and insults her brother. Yet, through all of this, Gertrude, Hamlet's mother, no stranger to unwise liaisons herself, and like most mothers blind to her child's faults, had hoped that Ophelia would have been Hamlet's wife. By gist and by Saint Charity, a lack and fight for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it, by cock they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. So would I had done by yonder sun, and thou hast not come to my